What do you make of a Tank?
Lamont Roach. I'm Lamont Roach. We've been cool since we was in the amateurs. So
Lamont, I always knew Lamont was, he wasn't coming to lay down. I've been knowing Lamont since we was kids, so we came up in amateurs together. So I knew Lamont was serious. He was coming in there to fight.
Obviously, just to secure the win is doing just enough to get a draw. So I have to push harder. I have to train harder. I have to be more mean. I have to be more physical.
Devin Haney rolls into Lamont Roach's camp as he gets ready for the Gervonta Davis rematch. Haney claims he's sparred with Roach before and knows his style inside out. He says they're cool and he's backing Roach's grind. But let's be real, Haney showing up isn't just about friendship. It's a bold statement of respect between fighters and maybe a quiet shot at Tank, as Roach prepares for the biggest war of his career.
Unfinished business.
What do you make of the Tank versus Roach fight? Do you think it's a fight that Tank should have at this point of his career?
No comment.
What do you make of a Tank?
Lamont Roach. I'm Lamont Roach. We've been cool since we was in the amateurs. So I'm happy that he got the opportunity. And
Devin Haney watched Lamont Roach go toe-to-toe with Gervonta Davis and didn't flinch for a second. He knew what Roach was capable of. They go way back, from the amateur scene to grinding in the gym together. So Haney had no doubt. When Roach cracked Davis with a shot that dropped him to a knee in round 9, Haney saw it for what it was, a clear knockdown. But referee Steve Willis looked the other way, refused to count it, and let Davis recover to escape with a majority draw. Haney didn't hold back afterward, telling Ring Magazine, "I thought he won the fight."
And finally, I wanted to get your thoughts on the Gervonta Tank Davis situation. What was your assessment on his fight against Lamont Roach, and what are your thoughts on the knockdown that wasn't called in round 9?
Yeah, I thought it was a good fight overall. Lamont, I always knew Lamont was, he wasn't coming to lay down. I've been knowing Lamont since we was kids, so we came up in amateurs together. So I knew Lamont was serious. He was coming in there to fight. But he did a lot better than I thought he would, and I thought he won the fight personally. Yeah, the no knockdown, that was like unheard of. It was the first time I've ever seen it with my own 2 eyes, and yeah.
Yeah, you were you've made some comments. I wanted to see the backflip, and I'm surprised Tank didn't say nothing back to you about that.
Hey, I was just speaking my opinion on it.
Behind closed doors, Devin Haney and Gervonta Davis have gone at it in some intense sparring wars battles that stayed under wraps until Floyd Mayweather Jr. decided to stir the pot. He dropped footage that quickly spread through the boxing world, and it didn't hold back. The clip shows Davis landing clean, sharp shots on Haney, fueling the debate and raising eyebrows about who really held their own when the cameras weren't supposed to be rolling.
Did you ever see him spar any of them?
Yeah.
What happened? Who he sparred?
Y'all know what happened, man.
I don't know.
He sparred Devin. It's packed, it's hot. They get in there. Tank hit that nigga. He hit him, boom. Then he hit him again, and he went out. I jumped in the ring. Because at the time, Devin is 17. It calmed down, and they got back to working, Tank got a little bit more fatigue, and once they kept going, Devin got the best of them.
Oh, okay.
But in a real fight time with 8-ounce gloves on, bye.
With his usual bluntness, Haney fired back at the boxing world, saying, "Everyone's got their own version of my sparring." He called out how fighters love to twist training stories to suit their own hype. Haney's side might push his slick defense, while Davis and his camp are quick to highlight his raw power. In Haney's eyes, it's all just been everyone playing the narrative game.
It was so long ago that it doesn't even matter now because, we're grown men and we could, settle it in the ring.
All right, yeah.
It's where it really counts because, it's so many stories, so many different point of views. But I told my story, and now I'd rather just get it in under the lights.
I love that.
Our first fight, me and Ryan's first fight, we was I want to say 10 years old. So we've been fighting since we was young kids.
So did you ever build a friendship, or was it just always a competitive?
The bond between Haney and Roach goes way deeper than just boxing matches. When Haney took a hard legal stance against performance-enhancing drugs and called out Ryan Garcia as a cheater, Roach didn't hesitate. He backed him up immediately. Ryan is a cheater, Roach echoed, making it crystal clear where he stands. This isn't just two top fighters teaming up in the ring, it's two warriors drawing a line in the sand for integrity. Together, they're sending a bold message: respect the sport or get called out. Their unity isn't just loyalty, it's a public stand for fairness and a shared mission.
So that great question. I'm not too into the political side or whatever they got going on. I think Ryan's a cheater. I speak out against that. That's dirty. I don't care about nothing else that's dirty in our sport. Our lives are at stake. Whatever actions he's taking up against him outside the ring, I don't got nothing to deal with. I don't got nothing to think about or talk about on his stance. That's his decision or whatever the case may be.
Footage out of Lamont Roach's Brooklyn camp shows a man on a mission, no shortcuts, no slacking. In last week's video, Roach moves with surgical footwork, razor-sharp defense, and jabs that snap with purpose. Every single round looks like it could be the one that defines his entire career. There's zero complacency here, just raw discipline and a hunger to bounce back. For Roach, every punch thrown is payback for that controversial draw, a loud answer to the critics, and proof that he's not just showing up, he's coming to take the rematch and claim what should have been his.
Yes, sir. Come on, quick. Drop those hips. Nice. Come on. Give me that explosion. Rip. Good. There it is. There it is. Come on. 10 seconds. Breathe. Come on. Come on. Time. Yes, sir.
Roach has flipped the script in this camp this time. It's personal and precise. He's not just throwing more punches. He's loading every shot with purpose. The technical breakdowns don't lie. His focus is on deadly accuracy, perfect timing, and ruthless output. It's clear he heard the whispers that he did enough but didn't bring the finishing fire. Now, Roach looks like a man out to silence all doubt. He's training harder, sharper, and with one mission: to make every punch count when the spotlight's brightest and the stakes are highest.
I have to come with it all. I have to do more. Obviously, just to secure the win is doing just enough to get a draw. So I have to push harder. I have to train harder. I have to be more mean. I have to be more physical. I have to do a lot. I have to do everything just a little more. And I think that will definitely put me over the hump. And I'm more than motivated to get back in there, get back in the camp, and work hard so I could secure a victory over a pound-for-pound fighter, in which I believe that I am myself.
Roach's roots run deep in the fight game. His amateur resume is stacked with national titles and brutal matchups that forged his edge early. At just 16, he went toe-to-toe with Gervonta Davis, getting a rare taste of elite-level boxing before most kids even turn pro. That experience didn't just test him, it molded him. Since turning professional, Roach has built on that early grind, sharpening his technique, boosting his ring IQ, and developing a no-nonsense mindset. Every fight he steps into now proves one thing: his amateur days didn't just teach him how to box, they made him believe he's meant to rule the top.
Roach is a hell of a contender, man. Roach had a very impressive amateur record, man, boasting 125 wins and 15 losses. 2 of those losses coming by Tank, man. Also, when him and Tank fought, Roach was 15 and Tank was 16 at the time. 3 years later, 2013, Roach actually won his National Golden Glove Championship. And he was also USA Boxing Youth National Champ as well.
Hey, yo, we're going to be checking for any suspicious opponents on Lamont Roach record. He's 25-1 with 10 big wins coming by the way of knockout, my people. He's in the super featherweight division. He's ranked number 14 in the world and number 3 in the USA, my people. He has a WBA title right now in the super featherweight division. He's fighting Gervonta Davis in December, but you know we got to check how he even got there and how he started his career. His pro debut, he went against Victor. He was 1-3. That's fine. It's your pro debut. First fight as a professional. You feel me? I ain't gonna get at you. Next person was 1-6. Alright, I mean, we ain't do better, but it's your second fight. Like, fourth person was 0-1. That was a little sussy because he ended up 0-10. He never won a day in his life. So he never got his hand raised in a boxing match. You feel me? And then the next person, he stepped it up, though. He went to an undefeated. It's only 2 fights, but he was 2-0. Then 12-9, that's a journey, man. I'm not going to lie. 4-2, 3-4, these are looking good. 8-5, that's a journeyman in the making. He got a winning record.
Teofimo Lopez isn't holding back. He's throwing serious shade at Gervonta Davis's reputation, especially when it comes to those flashy knockout wins. According to Lopez, most of Davis's opponents haven't been real threats and proven, untested, and far from elite. In his eyes, Davis's record might look pretty, but it's padded. Lopez believes true greatness isn't built on highlight reels, it's earned in wars against top-tier fighters. And as far as he's concerned, Davis still hasn't faced anyone who could push him to the edge. It's a bold call-out that reignites the debate. Is Tank really among boxing's elite, or just protected hype?
So you think you dominate Tank?
I think I dominate any of them. If you really look at it, if you gotta really tap in on this, look at their resume, all that extra, whatever. There's a certain limit that you hit, right? But then there's that next criteria or that next top tier. And if you don't match that, you never gonna know how great you really are. And I've done that a few amount of times already. I jumped out that box and done that. So I have yet to see Gervonta come out of that box yet. You know what I'm saying? They're about to put him with a guy at 130 pounds. Whether he's a champion or not, you're getting a guy lighter than you to come up and weight to make you look good again. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Eddie Hearn hasn't wavered one bit when it comes to Lamont Roach Jr. even as critics questioned whether Roach deserved to be in the conversation with boxing's elite. As the promoter behind the Davis versus Roach showdown, Hearn stood firm, pushing back against the doubt and publicly backing Roach's talent and potential. While the crowd may have been unsure, Hearn's endorsement wasn't just lip service, it was a powerful stamp of legitimacy that gave Roach the spotlight and validation he needed when the stakes were highest.
This year or in boxing, there's obviously been a hurdle. Will he get through the second fight, Gervonta?
Maybe not. I mean, I think he's had a result, to be honest with you, because one, he should have lost the fight. I mean, he should have had a point deducted. There's no doubt about that. But two, people criticised the Roach fight. I knew it would be a good fight because we know Roach is a good fighter, but people in boxing know that Roach is a good fighter. Now it's giving him another fight. Because if he would have beaten Roach, he's kind of backed in a corner to fight Shakur Stevenson, I think. But now he's got a rematch that's actually much bigger than the first fight. So, yeah, I think he'll be more switched on for this maybe, but Roach is a good fighter.
Even as a world champion, Lamont Roach still gets slept on by a lot of fans. His low-key public image has fooled some into thinking he's an easy target for Gervonta Davis. But anyone who's really followed Roach's journey knows better. Got sharp technique, smart ring IQ, and a style that's anything but simple. His rise hasn't been loud, but it's been real. And being overlooked might just be his secret weapon. No hype, no pressure, just a hungry fighter ready to flip the script and shut down every critic who thought he didn't belong.
Like I said, in boxing, at the end of the day, Lamont Roach is a world champion at the end of the day. Like I said, the whole thing about Lamont Roach is that he could fight, and you can't overlook anybody, especially not at the top level. Everybody knows he can fight, and Tank and Lamont Roach have been acquainted with each other since they were young fighters. And, just coming up in the game and knowing each other, the comfortability, that's still something that can threaten one another. But I feel like Tank will come out on top at the end of the day. But Lamont might give people, a tougher fight than he might.
Speaking on that, though, like you fought guys early in your amateur career, right? And then you fight them now. Do you already know what to expect, or is there somewhat of an evolution?
No, it's definitely an evolution. It's definitely changed in people, but a lot of times, probably half the time, people's mentality stay the same. And their personalities don't always change. So you might be more comfortable with somebody, just growing up with them and knowing where they come from and knowing their background and stuff, versus just not knowing the fighter at all.
Who wins that fight, Lane?
Tank. I got Tank.
How?
I don't know. I feel like Tank might break him down, work his way to a knockout. Because Tank is great at break the fighters down. Just punches his way into it, boxes his way into it. So.
As the rematch draws near, Lamont Roach looks locked and calm, focused, and fully dialed in. His training footage and interviews don't show a guy just soaking up the spotlight, they show a man plotting to take it. Roach isn't here to survive, he's here to take over. There's no trace of fear or hesitation on the belief. He's not haunted by the past, he's aiming to rewrite it. The way he moves, talks, and trains says it all. This isn't the same fight, and Roach is coming to flip the script with confidence that's hard to ignore.
I feel like you got a certain confidence about this fight that I've interviewed a few different Tank opponents, and everybody gonna say like, yeah, everybody say this shit. That's what you're supposed to say, right? Like, I'm going into a fight. I don't think people thinking they're gonna lose, but it just feels like you have a different confidence than most other people. Where do you feel like that comes from?
That's just how I'm wired, bro. I ain't never backed down from nothing. I damn sure ain't never wanted to come second to anything. So why would it change here?
Roach's father and trainer knows exactly what's gone into this camp. He's watched Lamont grind with serious focus and maturity, showing clear growth since the first clash. But while he backs his son fully, his eyes are also on Gervonta Davis, and he's not convinced Tank's head is in the right place. It's not trash talk, it's an observation. From the way Davis is handling the spotlight and pressure, the elder Roach sees cracks that could matter when the bell rings. His measured perspective doesn't just boost Lamont, it adds real weight to the question. Is Davis mentally ready for what's coming?
Like I expected, but I knew my son was game. Training camp, he was so focused and locked in. I knew that we was gonna put on a great performance, and it was kind of like stolen away from him a little bit with the decision. But the world got to see how good he is, so that's the plus to come out of this. So he really stamped himself in the boxing world more so with this performance. So like I say, that's why it's bittersweet.
Is it?
We get it. We talked to the team. You know, he fresh off. He fresh off this fight just like everyone else. You know what I'm saying? He might be talking off some whispers or things like that, but I don't know his plans. I don't know his management team and stuff like that. But I know the fans want the rematch, and he should get the fans what they want.
Do you think we could see a rematch take place back in Washington now?
That'd be great. Why not? They just broke the Barclay gate, so I think it'll sell out fast back home.
Claressa Shields isn't staying silent. She's raising red flags about Gervonta Davis's recent behavior, and she's not sugarcoating it. According to Shields, a fighter's mental state is just as crucial as their physical prep, especially when emotions and outside chaos start creeping in. She's genuinely worried that all the noise surrounding Davis could mess with his focus and performance. In a sport where one mental slip can cost everything, her warning hits hard and adds even more tension to what's already a high-stakes rematch.
I don't know if it's just because I'm getting older now or what, but I feel like Gervonta is a hell of a fighter, but he needs to get his mental together. When I hear some of his interviews and I see some of the stuff that he's saying, I can just tell that he's not in love with the sport no more. I can tell that he didn't get his just due. I mean, it was crazy to hear that he said he got evicted out of a house or something like that. And I was just like, what in the world? And like that type of stuff when you've been fighting and knocking people out and fighting main events. I mean, he fought four main events here at T-Mobile against some of the best fighters. And it's just like, to see that he got evicted from his home and all this other stuff. Now he got kids and, you know, he's not signed with TMT.
Mayweather.
Promotions,
No, he's on his own.
anymore. It's like when I hear him talk, he's like he want to be a nicer guy for his daughters, and he don't want to be
therapy.
I think he would be better, and even a better fighter if he went and did therapy like ASAP. Because I can just tell like he's a little sad, he's a little depressed, even before this fight. You know, so I think it'd be a better fight. I think that Lamont has the mental edge. I think anybody right now would have the mental edge over Tank because, to me, he just needs to take some serious time to deal with whatever he's having to deal with. Nobody knows what it is, but I mean, me being a fighter, I have done plenty of camps where I was depressed and where I was going through anxiety. So it's not an easy thing to get over, especially when you don't have the support from certain people that you used to have. You're not motivated and stuff like that. So it can be very, very tough. So I just hope that he gets the help he needs. And I think Lamont Roach did a great job that fight. I think if he had been a little bit more aggressive, he could have really won, like a unanimous decision. But he kept stepping off the gas. So, I mean, now that he can take Tank punch, I think Lamont will be even better in the rematch because he's going to take his punch, he's going to get him.
Reflecting on the first fight, Coach Bernie didn't sugarcoat it. He saw spots where Roach could have grabbed a fight by the throat but didn't. Yes, Roach performed well, but according to Bernie, he left too much on the table. This time, it's different. Bernie's demanding a more aggressive game plan, one that doesn't just defend but controls the tempo and forces the issue. It's not about changing Roach's identity. It's about sharpening what's already there. In a fight that could come down to inches, Bernie's push for smarter, bolder execution might be exactly what tips the rematch Roach's way.
Documentary, but he did good, Lamont Roach. But only thing, like I say, if he gonna go back and wish he threw his hands more, he might start getting mad at himself and realize that he when he watches the fight, it feel good to hear everybody say that. But when you go watch the fight and you realize,
I let him slide too much. Like even the last round, he's standing there posing, looking at the man like and then he got caught with a jab. That wasn't good.
So, you talked about the takeaways of how Lamont could be better in the rematch. And you're the second person that alluded to that. Tell me, what do you see in Lamont in the rematch that he could be more successful